All right, so there are some big changes coming up with my YouTube channel. You probably noticed because as this is publishing, you'll see that I changed the name of my YouTube channel. And there's a reason behind all of it, and that's why we're here today to talk about the changes that are happening on this channel and also any other questions that you may have for me. So I need to walk my dog, so that's what I'm doing right now, getting ready for that. And you notice my little cozy nook here that I created. I had another video that was going to come out, more of a vlog style video, kind of showcasing this, but I figured with the name change, because I had to like work fast to get the name change because I noticed there were some unsavory people. My name on YouTube, like when I checked, it was available. I posted a picture both on Instagram and YouTube about it had like my podcast picture. After I did that, the YouTube name Cozy Notes was taken, so that's why it's cozy_notes now. So yeah, unsavory folks out there. And remember, there's only one of me in the whole entire world. So if you get an email or get anything from someone who is not exactly my name, then you know it's a scam. So anyways, I need to walk my dog. I'm going to try my best to answer your questions while I go about my daily life. Today, it's a Friday. What do we have? We have a dentist appointment, and then we also have my son's art class. So it's a pretty chill day, and it's chilly for us in Southern California as well. When I woke up this morning, it was in the low 40s, which, yeah, that's the sign of fall and winter, low 40s for us. We rarely get into the 30s. So yeah, low 40s, but since we're on the coast, the weather's pretty moderate, so the highs are usually 50s or 60s. The only downfall is the wind. When there's wind, then it just feels so much colder. Yeah, let's get started with the day. So this is fit check for today. I'm wearing one of my favorite sweaters that I got from Nuuly, which is owned by Anthropology, and it reminds me of my uncle, which is why I wear it. And I'm wearing some leggings from Vuori. I don't know how to pronounce them. And then I got some new socks. Not wearing shoes because we don't wear shoes in the house, but I will wear shoes. I'll probably just wear slides when I walk the dog. And then yes, I got this hat a few weeks ago at the local Patagonia outlet. It's cute. There's another one I was gonna get with the fox, but I ended up giving that to my daughter instead. This pile of laundry, it's like a forever. Something you have to realize is that as long as you have humans living in the house that keep clean, you are always gonna have laundry. It's never ending. So don't ever feel like you need to catch up on laundry because you're never going to catch up because it will always catch up to you. So we do like a load a day basically, and then it just gets piled up here until today or the weekend when we have time to fold. Speaking of laundry, we need to do some right now. Power. Normal, extra rinse, start, now pause it, lift it up, okay. And press the start button. Making my breakfast right now. I was going to record of us walking, but it was like cold and windy. There's like a storm somewhere out west, so, or northwest, so it's a chilly storm. But right now I need to eat. Oops, not following me. You need to follow me. How do you follow me? Maybe I gotta do that. There we go. I need to make some breakfast because I'm gonna get hangry soon. And I'm trying to eat more protein with my breakfast because I feel like that gives me a better start to the day. But I also need the veggies and all that stuff. And I also always burn my tortillas constantly. Yeah, as I get older, I feel like my protein content needs to be higher than it used to be in order to have like those stable moods and stuff. So, which is a question I get asked often a lot is, how old are you? How old are you? I'm probably older than most of you that watch me. I am 49. I'll be 50 next year. The big 50. I had kids late in life. I didn't have, my oldest I had when I was like 36 or something like that. And then my other two I had in my 40s. So yeah, a little bit of a late bloomer here. But before I get more into personal details, because I had a lot of questions about that, I'm gonna kind of, I guess, share, what's it called? The elephant in the room? Is that what it is? Why the name change? Why Cozy Notes? Like, I've changed my name a few times if you've been here a long time. Originally, my YouTube channel was just, yeah, don't mind the mess over there. I haven't done dishes. I didn't do dishes last night. I was too tired. Let's see, we had 30 minutes until, I hate it when the avocados, yeah. Still good though, it's just ugly. When I first started my YouTube channel, I had a blog called the Homeschool Front. I still have the blog. I haven't written anything on there recently, but I still have it. It's still running, collecting ad money and all that stuff. I thought, oh, you know what? People don't really want to read anymore. So I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel was more focused on like our field trips, homeschool adventures, stuff like that. So yeah, that was the original incarnation of my YouTube channel. It's called exactly like my blog, The Homeschool Front. And eventually, 2 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, I changed it to Life in the Trenches, kind of keeping to the theme of the whole Homeschool Front blog. Kind of like, and my newsletter was Notes from the Trenches, so it was all, related. I like things that are interconnected. It's not time for that right now. You're going to go to the dentist and you don't need to be drinking orange soda, okay? It's not even 10 o'clock yet. Okay, so the first incarnation was the Homeschool Front. Then it became Life in the Trenches, but just showcasing like my life as a homeschool parent and all that stuff. But, after my husband got into his accident, I realized that, I could go back to teaching because I kept up my credential. I could go back to teaching if needed be. But after my husband's accident, I realized that I don't want to go back to teaching if I had to go back to work. I want to continue homeschooling. And I know I see friends that do work full time or are teachers as well and homeschool their kids. And it's challenging. They have to depend on a lot of other people. And I don't have a lot of people here and where I live that can help out in that way. So I, started brainstorming like ways that I can work from home. And blogging and YouTube and all that stuff is a long game. And it's not something that is like instant success. And so I decided, you know what? I've always been a guide in some sense, right? As a teacher, as a friend, as a family member, as a parent. And life coaching just seemed like the right path. It was calling to me. It was the right path. I took a course, Beautiful You Coaching Academy, and they're an Australian company that teaches people how to be life coaches. And then I plan on getting certified with them as well. So that's like another 8 months or so of courses I need to take in order to get officially certified, which is the plan after everything. Just need to get into a position where everything is kind of stable and everything is flowing easily. I can't talk when you do that, okay? Thank you. Did you get ready for the day, both of you? Did you brush your teeth really well? Did you floss your teeth? Did you gargle? So anyways, went down this life coaching path. Now I'm a mindful living coach and I help busy moms find peace in the chaos, basically. Do less, live more, kind of a thing, because life is very short. And in the future, I am going to go into a story about how I came into this whole mindful living, intentional living, slow living, whatever you want to call it, cozy living type of lifestyle. So now that I am a mindful living coach, and the common thread throughout all of my content that I put out there, all of my my Substack, my YouTube channel, and my future podcast, yes, there's going to be a future podcast, is all about cozy, mindful living and even homeschooling, cozy, mindful homeschooling, intentional homeschooling. And that's like the golden thread. So that's why I kind of rebranded to Cozy Notes, because it just kind of encompasses everything that I'm doing. And so, yeah, that's why we're here today. How will Cozy Notes differ from your old content? I guess there'll be more content about mindful living, tips and vlogs and things like that. However, I will be still sharing homeschool content as well. It's just not every week. Maybe like once a month once every 2 months, something like that. Like I found like I needed to buy things because the most popular videos I made were when I, had a new curriculum to share and stuff like that. And yeah, like I got a lot of things gifted, but then we don't use it. And I feel like that is really wasteful. And I just want everything to be aligned with my values. And that is not the way I wanted my homeschool channel to go down. That was not the path. And I was also not feeling very inspired. If you noticed at the end of last year, I took like a really long break. And then even this year, I'm not posting like a video every week. I'm down to like 3 videos a month, sometimes 2. And I just wasn't inspired anymore. There will sometimes be homeschool content because that is part of our life. That's part of our cozy life. But this is no longer, it's solely a homeschool channel. It's all about cozy living, mindful living, and yeah, I hope you guys stick around for that. I need to eat because we gotta go soon. So I'm just gonna stop right here for now and I'll see you in a second. Clean bill of health. My dog following me in. There he is. Clean bill of health. And I still have a slew of questions to answer, but also I got laundry to do. I need to make my bed. I got stuff I gotta do. So I'm gonna answer all your questions while I'm doing all the things. Next question is, what does cozy mean to you? And how does it tie into your lifestyle and brand? Well, cozy is just, that warm, comfy feeling that you get when you're snuggled in bed and you don't want to get out. That's kind of a cozy feeling. And so I just want to incorporate that into everything that I do. I mean, we already do that within our home. We have a very small home. It's cozy, it's comfortable, and I'm just, I'm updating it at the moment. Yeah, and I kind of want to just bring that into the YouTube channel, the cozy feelings. I want you to think or feel that you can have a cozy lifestyle even if you live in the suburbs of Southern California or wherever you live. Like, you don't have to move to the English countryside. You don't have to sell everything and like start a homestead. You don't have to, you know what I mean? Like, you can have it right where you're at. And it's just a mindset, and then also environmental factors also included. But yeah, I just want to share more about that, and I can't wait to do it. How are you planning to connect your podcast, newsletter, and YouTube channel? I have a Substack newsletter, and I can upload a podcast to that, and it like sends it to all the places. And so on YouTube, there's going to be like kind of 2 different types of content. So there's going to be kind of like talking head how-to type of content, which is going to be the podcast. So you'll see me in my little cozy chair when that happens. And then there's also going to be vlogs, because I think you kind of need to see it to understand it, kind of a thing. And I just like sharing my life. It's not only for you to, see and understand what a cozy lifestyle is like, and then also it's memories for me and my family when we look back. I'm assuming YouTube's around. If not, I can download all the videos. But all these videos that I'm sharing are just, they're kind of like the old school home videos, that we used to make with our camcorders, or like dads would make with their camcorders, or moms, or whatever. And now we do everything on our phone, and we film all these things and take the pictures, and then what do we do with all that, right? So my dog's happy we're home. I'm just excited. So podcast, newsletter, YouTube, all connected through the podcast, basically. I'm going to start recording season 1. So I'm going to do seasons. So those are going to be more unedited, more raw, lots of ums, less cuts, you know what I mean? So, just grab a cuppa, get your knitting gear, get your art supplies, do your cozy hobbies with me while I chat with you, kind of a thing. Or maybe you're just doing dishes, or you're on a drive, or what have you, or a walk. I listen to a lot of podcasts on walks, so that's what that's going to be. And then vlogs, because I love doing vlogs. And then next, do you think this rebranding will attract a new audience, or are you trying to grow with your existing followers? I think homeschoolers are innately already on the path to a more intentional life. There's a reason why we did not want to have our kids in the public school system. And I feel like the main thread of it is to be there in our kids' lives, to slow down, to see them grow and to see them develop into the humans that they are going to become. And yeah, I think that kind of is how this whole journey for me began, is with homeschooling. Well, actually before homeschooling, but I'll get into that another time. But yeah, I think it's going to expand from here. So moving outside of homeschooling, I'm going to have a wider audience. I'm going to have more people have their kids in public school systems or traditional school systems, and they can, they too want to have a cozy lifestyle, but they don't have the time to homeschool their kids, or maybe they don't have the desire to do it, or what have you. You can still live a cozy, slow, intentional life with your kids in traditional schools. You can still do all that. Okay, so the next set of questions, since we've been talking about homeschooling, is about homeschooling. So let's get to that. All right, so what has been the biggest lesson you've learned through homeschooling? So the biggest lesson I've learned is to slow the F down, slow down. Like, you don't have to do all the things. You don't have to keep up with traditional school kids. You don't have to, you can go at your own pace. So homeschooling has taught me to slow down, for sure. How do you balance homeschooling with everything else you do? It's hard. It's hard because it would be nice if I could keep like a schedule, but I can't. I can't keep a schedule, because even though we have like times when we're homeschooling, it doesn't mean that I can always work during those times. Like sometimes my younger ones need me to work with them, or they're doing independent work. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I can sneak away and, write the Substack newsletter. And then the next thing I know, my kids come in and interrupt me because they need help, or they have a question, or they want to do this or that. So it's a challenge, but I don't let it stop me. Just learn to work my way around all of it. And also like just having the mindset that, why are you not following me? There we go. You just have to not be so strict with yourself. You have to be flexible, and you have to be okay not getting things done in the amount of time that you had planned, because when do plans ever go as planned? You know what I mean? You need to, it's all mindset. So I do the best I can. I try to work around my kids' schedules, and I also make sure I make time for myself to refill my own cup, because that helps a lot. Because if I don't do that, I find myself to be a little testy, a little irritated when I am interrupted all the time. What are your favorite resources for homeschooling? I love the library, because the library has all the things that you may need. I also like the bookstores, like the little bookstores, or even like the Friends of the Library bookstore. Those are also really good resources. Anything online and free, I try to utilize. So there's some history resources that I love. Can't think of them off the top of my head, but I will link a video for the election, even though the elections are over. They do happen quite often, every 4 years for presidential. So I do have resources there listed for history that are free. Curriculum, I like Beast Academy for math, but it's not for everyone. Everything else, you can leave it or take it, don't really need it. But yeah, home science tools, love them for their resources, science resources, because like back in the day, you would have to go to like a science teacher supply store. And for us, that was like down in LA. We'd have to go down there to get the supplies or order them or whatever. And that was a hassle. And then you had to buy in bulk. But with home science tools, you don't have to do that. You can buy exactly what you need. And then also I love their Science Unlocked curriculum kits. Usually, like I said, I'm not a big curriculum person, and I've learned over the years, even though I love kits, they just take up too much space, and I don't like that. So but I do like Science Unlocked. I love their kits. I think they're great. Oh, Crunch Labs. My kids love Crunch Labs, so therefore I love Crunch Labs. You don't need a lot. Go on field trips. Use anything that's free online. There's a lot of free stuff online, free information. And the library, books, lots of books at the library. Let's see, what advice would you give to someone considering homeschooling but feeling overwhelmed? You need to deschool. You more than your kids. Your kids are fine. They can get used to the new routines and all that stuff. You're the one that went to a traditional school and grew up in a society that is more traditional. Then you need to deschool yourself. And so deschooling yourself is just basically don't do school. Your kids are going to be okay if you take like 3 months off and not do school. They're not going to be behind. And more likely they're going to easily catch up and move beyond. So don't ever feel like you're going to be behind, because you're not. And that's like a fallacy anyways. Like whoever is really right on track. No one ever is. So yeah, I would deschool. I think that would be the best thing you could do. How do you incorporate slow living principles into your homeschooling? I think I kind of talked about that earlier. Do less, but go deeper, kind of a thing. Yeah, like those, if you do decide to use a curriculum, they always have a scope and sequence, a pacing of how you should proceed with the curriculum, but they're always suggested. They even say that it's suggested. It's not like the rule of law. Yeah, you don't need to follow that. You don't have to do everything that's in the curriculum either. You can do your own thing, that's fine. And you can supplement, yeah. And you don't have to do it all either. You can outsource your homeschooling. Like I have my kids take art classes outside of the house. They don't do anything else, but they used to take science classes and math classes outside of the house. Next year, when my oldest is in high school, he will be taking more classes that are outside of the house that are not here. You can also do online classes, but I find my kids like doing the in-person classes better. Maybe like for other subjects like history or language arts, that could be online easily. But I think with science, you need hands-on. So that will, yeah, for sure be outsourced. We do have to go like 1, 2, 3 towns over to a science teacher that I really want my son to take classes from, which is not that bad. So like 30-minute drive, 40-minute drive. So, and then we just kind of schedule everything around the classes my kids take. So I schedule all the classes, and then I figure out which days can we do homeschool stuff, like daily work is what we like to call it. And then which days can we dive deep into like science or history. Their classes are 1, 2, 3 days a week. Hi, I have a couple more questions that came in about homeschooling. So one is about how do you balance technology, like screen time, and homeschooling. You need to have limits, just like you probably have limits for yourself with screen time. I mean, I hope you do. Your kids need to have limits too. For us, my kids are allowed to have screen time in the morning. And then we start our homeschool day, and then they're not allowed to have it again until the evening. And I teach them balance. I teach them the importance of taking breaks and like moving around and just doing things so we're not on our screens all the time. And then also I need to make sure that I am also practicing what I'm preaching, basically. I am taking breaks. I am being mindful of my use. I am doing other things besides being on my phone or my computer or my iPad or what have you all the time. And so, yeah, that's just the way it is. And, I'm not going to expect my kids not to have technology. I can't say you can't watch TV, you can't do all these other things, but it's okay for me to do it. That doesn't seem very fair. I enjoy watching TV. I have to use my computer for work and stuff. I need to be able to look stuff online for homeschool. We utilize a lot of homeschool resources that are online. And so, yeah, screen time is okay. You just need to figure out a good balance and be mindful of your consumption, of your use. And I also tell my kids that they need to create before they consume. So I try to do the same thing. I try to journal or sketch or just do something creative before I start consuming. Also, before I start working as well, because I think that really helps my brain. Next question is about read alouds. Like, what read alouds do you suggest? Just whatever you're interested in, whatever books you're interested in, read them. Depends, I mean, like, what grade level are your kids? That's a consideration. And are they sensitive? Do they like adventurous stuff? Like, what, you have to know what your kids are into to know what you should read to them. And I tend to read things that I like to read to my kids. So we read a lot of sci-fi. Right now we're reading the Maze Runner series. Like, I used to be a teacher. So when I was a teacher, I would read all the books that my students were reading so that we could have, conversations and talk about it and stuff. And so, I mean, what's your kid reading? Maybe instead of having them read the book, you can read out loud as a family. Also, good resources, like follow like booktubers or whatever they're called. Book talkers, is that what it is? I don't know. You can follow them. There's a lot of people like will review young adult books and children's books as well. And then also Read Aloud Revival. She has like I forgot her name, but she has a premium membership where you get access to like all her book recommendations, and like there's like a family book club and a mom's book club and all that stuff. So there's that too you could utilize. She is Christian, but I don't think her group is Christian. I think it's secular. So all is welcome, I believe. Those are my recommendations. We just kind of I go off based off what my kids are into. So my kids are kind of like me. They like sci-fi. My oldest son likes horror, but my youngest doesn't, so we don't do horror. But we'll do sci-fi, do anything adventurous. Like, we've read all the Harry Potter series. We read all the Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Yeah, right now we're doing Maze Runner. And I think after that what are we doing after that? I think we're going to do The Uglies. So my kids kind of like watching or reading books that have movies so that we can like read the book and then watch the movie, and then we kind of have a discussion about it, and like, we give our opinions, which one we like better, how things are different in the movie compared to the book, stuff like that. And then also, if you want like a book club, you can have like a book club. You get to know other homeschool families, and then you can create book clubs there where the kids can have a book club and the moms can have a book club and all that stuff. And I think there's even like online, Mary Wilson, she does, why am I forgetting? Out school. She has out school classes, like book clubs is basically what there are. I think mainly middle grades, but maybe younger too. I'm not too sure. But yeah, like book discussions and stuff. Like, and it's not just novels. It's also graphic novels as well, which are great. I love graphic novels. Kids love graphic novels. Don't poo-poo graphic novels. And read whatever your kids want to read. Go to the bookstore, see what they gravitate towards, and grab it. All right, diverted disaster. I was warming up my daughter's pizza and I totally forgot about it. So, yeah, don't mind suitcase. We have a permanent suitcase here for my husband because he's always going on a business trip of some sort. Some of the things I kind of already talked about, so I'm going to move on. Now, all of these topics are about like intentional living, mindful living. How did you start your mindful living journey? And I would love to go into more detail about that, but my first podcast is going to be all about that. So you will just have to wait. It started with my childhood, and then I kind of veered away from that. And when I decided to quit my teaching job because I was burnt out, that is kind of the slow journey towards it. It took a while to get to where I am today, and I still feel like I could slow down so much more. So it's like a journey. It's a process. It's something, when you do the work, you have to do it for a lifetime. It's not something you just, one day just accomplish overnight and then you're there. That's not how it works. So yeah, I will get more into that. So stay tuned. If you are new here, I'm Xuan, and I am a mindful living coach, a homeschool mom, and a YouTuber, I guess. And I share all things about cozy living here on my channel. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe and hit that bell so that you get notified when I do share my origin story, I guess is what it would be called, right? I have all this laundry. I should probably fold it, but I don't really feel like it right now. Let's see, it's 12:30. I have 2.5 hours until we need to get to my son's class. So I think I can get this done. What's the hardest part about maintaining a slow living lifestyle? Other people. Other people make it hard. I think people have expectations about how you should live, and they kind of push that onto you. Or maybe they live a more fast-paced life and they expect you to keep up even if you don't want to. Also, just everything you see online on social media, like people are do, go, go, go. You get FOMO basically. You get FOMO, you feel the peer pressure to keep up. What are your top 3 slow living habits? I would say making time for myself. Or no, first thing is doing less, but going deeper. Doing less and doing it better, kind of a thing. Making time for myself, for my own self-care. And when I talk about self-care, I don't mean like sitting in a bubble bath or whatever. I mean like, pursuing my own interests and hobbies, because those fill my cup. I don't know, I guess there's 2 different types of self-care. There's a self-care where you kind of just do nothing. And then there's a self-care where you're doing something. And I do both. And we'll get more into that in the future. And then making a cozy home, turning your environment into that cozy vibe that you want to feel. Because if you're not living in an environment that feels cozy and warm, and inviting where you want to be home, then you're probably not going to spend a lot of time home. I think that is a big factor as well. How do you handle the pushback from a world that's obsessed with hustle culture? It's hard. Like I already mentioned it earlier, that the hardest part of maintaining this living lifestyle is other people and social media. And yeah, it's hard, but you just, as long as you are aligned with your values, like what you believe in what you believe is important in your life, and you do things based on that, then you'll have no problem. And you'll be okay disappointing other people. You'll be okay. You won't have FOMO anymore. Like, I don't have FOMO anymore, to be honest. I used to have FOMO, but nah, I'm okay just being at home. My life is some people would see my life as boring, but I find my life to be very satisfying. I would take boring and satisfying over exciting and dramatic. Because no one wants to, I don't want to deal with people's drama. I don't want to deal with drama because that's just so stressful. Do you have any tips for someone who wants to live more slowly but feels stuck in a busy routine? I would say know what's important to you. So like, what do you find important? What's important to you to have a satisfying life? And then align your actions with what you find important. So if family is important, then maybe say no more often to those gatherings outside the home with other people, with your friends and stuff. Not saying that friendship is not important, but they are important. But also, like, if you have friends that also have kids and have a family, they know that life is a little bit busier. They know that you're not going to be able to spend all your time with them because you're no longer a single person that had all this spare time. Now your life is very full. And they know that. So they're going to be okay with you having some distance where you don't talk every day or every week, or you don't get together all the time. It's okay. And if they have a problem with that, then that's their problem, not yours. That's their problem, not yours. Know your values, align your actions with those values, and say no more often. So how do you make time for hobbies and relaxation as a busy mom? I make a date with myself, basically. Every Wednesday, when my daughter is at her horseback riding class, I go hiking. Every Tuesday, when I take my kids to their art class, I go on a long walk, and I make sure that happens. And then at least once a month, I do an art class. If I could do that more often, I would. I would take more art classes if I could. And letting my kids know, hey, I need some time. I need some space. And ideally, it'd be nice if I could get like a few hours by myself inside my own home. But that doesn't happen. And so I'm okay getting 5 minutes. I'm okay getting 10 minutes here or there. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that. And then exercise. I try to exercise. I try to lift weights at least 1 to 2 times a week. Yeah, and I walk my dog all the time. So that's like I don't know, a 10-minute. We go on like multiple 10-minute walks. So I get multiple 10 minutes of alone time there. Make a date with yourself. You're important too, just as important as the rest of your family. Because if you don't take care of yourself, who's going to take care of you when, when you're not feeling well? I mean, when we don't take care of ourselves, we're more likely to get sick. We're more likely to have health issues and stuff. So we need to take care of ourselves, both our mental health and our physical health. All of those are important. Okay, so that's it for the slow living stuff. Now we're going to talk about life and personal stuff. So some of these I may not answer because they may not be, I may not be comfortable answering them, but okay, let's do this. And maybe I should actually start folding the laundry. That would be a good thing, right? Folding the laundry that I had planned on doing. What's your morning or evening routine like? My morning routine, when I wake up in the morning, I do not grab my phone. I used to grab my phone. I do not grab my phone anymore. In the morning, instead, usually my dog wakes me up, scratches me. Like this morning, he scratched my eyeball. Not fun. And I take him outside to go to the bathroom, and then I, get my beverages because I'm a 3 to 4 beverage person in the morning. So I get my tea or coffee. What I drink depends. It depends because I'm someone who likes variety. And as someone who's more of a homebody, then variety is a little bit challenging, I guess. But not for me. Variety is not challenging. I don't have like a set type of routine. I guess I know I see on like online people talk about dopamine menus and stuff like that. I guess that's kind of like what I do. It's sort of like a menu that I choose from, but I don't write it down. It's just in my head, the things I like to do. I also have a self-care basket that my midlife coach recommended I create, and I love it. So thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Vanessa. Love you. And so like this morning, I woke up, took my dog out, made what I had today, coffee and my AG1 and my regular water, and then came back to bed because I like to be in my bed. One of the reasons why I made my little cozy spot is so that I don't spend all my days in my bed, because I would, and I feel like I fall asleep better when I don't. I kind of do morning pages, not all the time. Sometimes my morning pages, if you have done the artist way or familiar with it, morning pages are just like a stream of consciousness. You do 3 pages of that every day. And sometimes it's in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, and sometimes I don't even do it, and that's okay. But I feel good when I do it because it just takes everything out of my brain that I've been thinking about, and I just feel like I have more clarity when I do that. And then sometimes I'll read, sometimes I'll watch TV, sometimes I'll sketch, and yeah, it just depends what I feel like doing. So that's it. Oh, and then I walk the dog, and that's like my morning routine for days where we don't have to wake up to be somewhere. On days where like we have my kids need to be at an early morning class, then it's just pretty much wake up, make my drinks, get everyone ready to go, head out the door and go do the thing. And then, later when I come home, when I have time to decompress, I'll decompress. Or if it's like taking my daughter to a horseback riding class, then I'll go on a hike or what have you. I would eat breakfast. Eating breakfast is good. Sometimes I skip breakfast and I don't want to because, I need that protein, I need the energy. How has becoming a coach changed your perspective on life and work? That there's always room for growth, just to be open-minded and to be gentle with myself and to, think outside the box as well. Think outside the box. You don't always have to do things the way society has prescribed you to do them, or how you see people talk about how you should do things online or whatever. Like, it's your life. You design your own life. What's one thing you've learned about yourself this year? That I can handle anything. I can handle any shit that comes my way. And that's more than just this year, but yeah, I can handle it. I can handle anything. I can handle success. I think I've had a fear of success, and I've been working with a business coach. I just finished with her, which I'm so sad because I loved her so much. So hopefully in the future I can work with her again, but I can handle it. I can handle anything. So why can't I handle success? And I think I can handle success perfectly fine. I'm no longer keeping myself small. I'm no longer editing myself, because in the past, like the past YouTube Xuan, the past Instagram Xuan, highly edited. I didn't really share me because I felt like people just wouldn't understand, especially like the homeschooling community is very conservative, and I'm not a conservative person. So yeah, I kind of edited myself. I was trying to make myself accessible to all. And when you do that, it's just really inauthentic. I think people can sense that. And so yeah, just trying to be more me. And I'm tired of doing the homeschool crap, so that's part of me. If you could go back in time, what advice would you give to your younger self? I actually have a video about that coming out somewhat soon. So I will skip that for today. So make sure, again, you hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you get alerts when that goes live. What's a challenge you're currently working on in your personal life? Being more consistent with my exercise routine. Like ideally, I would like to lift weights 3 times a week. Right now, I can barely remember to do 1 time a week. And I would like to get more consistent with that because I'm going to be turning 50 next year. Since I am an older mom, I need to take care of myself so that I can be there for my kids. And I know that weightlifting is the key to that, and eating healthy and all that stuff. But weightlifting. What's one piece of advice you wish more moms would hear? You don't need to do it all. You don't need to do it all. You shouldn't do it all. Our goal in life as moms is to raise children, raise kids that become functional adults. And they're not going to become functional adults if you're doing everything. You need to teach them to do things. They need to be able to handle things themselves. They need to be able to take care of things themselves. They need to not be afraid to go to an adult and ask them for help or for a question or something like that. You can't do it all. You can't do everything for them. So yeah, stop doing it all for them. Make them do laundry, make them do chores. If they need something at Trader Joe's or whatever, make them go up a worker there or a manager and ask and do that. Not that hard to do. Don't do it all for your family. And plus, that's just going to lead to burnout and resentment. So don't do it all for your family. Let them do stuff for themselves. And especially like if you are married and you have a partner, don't do everything for them. They're an adult. They can do shit themselves. Don't do it all for them. Just like some fun and random questions, or my battery's gonna die soon, so I need to wrap this up rather quickly. What's your favorite cozy activity for fall or winter? For fall is just, going to the pumpkin patch, cooking, like making soups, even though it's not cold enough really here. Oh, today it's cold, but it's usually not cold enough here to be eating soups. But yeah, making soups. During winter time, I love baking and eating and making soup, like I said, and making like comfort foods. I love making comfort foods. So yeah, those are my favorite things. Oh, and going to see the Christmas lights. We have like a place called Santa Claus Lane. So going to see, not Santa Claus Lane, Christmas Tree Lane, I don't know what they call it, but going to see the Christmas lights, that's always exciting and fun. And I really there's like a town about like an hour away called Solvang, and they have a Yule Fest, I think that's what it's called. And we've never been. I've always wanted to go. I've been to Solvang so many times in my life, and we've never gone during Yule Fest, and that's something I want to do. And then at the end of the Christmas season, they have like a big bonfire and they burn all the Christmas trees, and I would like to see that too. I think that would be fun. So yeah, and just staying home and being snuggly and cozy and reading and doing hobbies and watching movies, and yeah, just like we don't have to always leave our home. And don't get me wrong, I love traveling. I have wanderlust, but also I love being home too. So I need to balance that. I think my gardener is done for a little bit, going to the neighbor's house. He kind of has monopoly around here. So he does multiple houses at the same time. What are your favorite books for slow living and homeschooling? To be honest, I don't have any. I guess with homeschooling, I would read anything by Julie Bogart. I love her vibe and everything that she has to share. Wild and Free books, yeah, those are good too. But Wild and Free is supposed to be like an all-inclusive kind of organization, and that may be the case here where I live in Southern California, but I do have friends, homeschool friends, in other parts of the country, and not all of those are as inclusive. So there's that. And I've never been to any of their conventions, or I was supposed to go one time during 2020, and then that didn't work out because of obviously everything that happened that year. And then I was going to go to the one they had in Texas one year, but it just didn't work out. And then they did have a convention nearby me, like hour and a half from me, 2 hours. And I did not go to that because I didn't want to spend money on it. To be honest, I've been in this different mindset where I have my homeschool groove down. I don't feel like I need support like I did when I first started homeschooling. So I think having all that extra support when you are starting out with homeschooling is important and is great. Community is great. But then after a while, you just kind of get your groove and you don't really need the support anymore. Just like with mom groups. Like when I first became a mom, I joined a mom group and it was great support. But then after a while, I didn't find it as useful as I once did. And I had already established friendships that we maintained outside of the mom group. So yeah, so then I dropped the mom group. When you're doing something new, community is important. After a while, it's not. And it's okay to do things on your own and go at your own pace. And yeah, so I don't know. That was supposed to be about books, but I don't know what happened there. Okay. Do you have any guilty pleasures that don't align with slow living? No, not really. I don't think so. I'd have to think about that. I don't think. Yeah, no. Pretty much everything I do in life is aligned with my values. So yeah, no. What's something people don't know about you? Besides me being older, back in the day, I was a bit of a wild child, kind of on the gothy, punky, crazy side. So you can it was the 90s, so you can kind of get an idea about that. And if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be and why? I think there would be two places I would want to live. One is Japan. That's where my husband is originally from. And he's been wanting to move back there. And he and his mom have been talking about buying property out there because it's really cheap right now. And in the countryside, people are not living in the countryside anymore. So those homes are abandoned and they're selling for pretty cheap. And New Zealand. I just love New Zealand. I could totally see myself living there. So island countries, I guess. And then if I don't move overseas, if we were to be in the US, I would definitely stay west of the Rockies. I love the mountains, but I also love the coast. I have to be near water of some sort. So in the mountains, you need to be near a lake or river, and the coast, obviously near the ocean. I do love the central coast of California, which I'm on the very southern tip of that. And also the Eastern Sierras, love that area as well. Let's stay in California, even though it's expensive here. California is a beautiful state and the weather is awesome, and I have access to some Asian foods, good Asian food, so that's important to me. So thank you for joining me. I'm sure this is a long video and I look forward to all the cool things that are going to be happening. And yeah, thanks for being here. I hope you stick around. Please like and subscribe. Share with your friends and family. Would love to have more people get on this intentional living, slow living, cozy living, whatever you want to call living train, because yeah, that's what our society needs. I think we just need to slow the heck down and enjoy life. Love you guys. Ciao. And yes, I separate the clothes, but I do not fold all the clothes. My kids fold their own clothes and put it away. I just separate everything. We wash everything together because it's just easier. And then we separate it all. And then they fold. And then I fold my own. And I fold my husband's too because he's too busy.